Hello and welcome to Upfront. My name is Dean Thullner-Veljacic and we are filming on the unceded Nanaimo traditional territory. On this episode of Upfront, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Kimberly Jackson, the Executive Director of Crossroads Pregnancy Center of Nanaimo. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, great. Well, listen, why don't we start off by telling the audience a little bit about Crossroads, your mission, and what you're all about.
Yeah, we are a nonprofit organization. We're a faith-based nonprofit, and we support women and families in unplanned or crisis pregnancies.
Aha. And how long has it been around?
We're in our 27th year in Nanaimo and serving the Central Island area.
And where are you located?
We're on Carrisdale Road, which is just off of Bowen.
Mm-hmm. Now, it is, you have to make an appointment to go, right? I want to clarify that right off the bat here.
That's correct,
right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I love this statement. It says, "You're not alone. We are here to answer your questions with expertise, care, and compassion." I've been to your center. You were very gracious to show me around, spent some time informing me. Admittedly, being part of the LGBT community, pregnancy is really not in my radar, so I learned a lot about it. Some of the statistics were overwhelming, some of them were a bit sad, some of them were really exciting, but I want the audience to know that this center is very heartwarming, it's very calming, and it feels very safe. Maybe we could talk about how it feels to be there.
Thank you. We really do try and create an environment where everyone feels welcome because we are for everyone. I would say that in the past, we have had some feedback that not everybody felt the grace that we try and extend to every person, and that is not the goal of our center. And really our main goal is for everybody to feel safe and welcome in our center. And that is our commitment to our community here, to have open doors to every person who needs support for their pregnancy.
Great. Okay, so I went on to Statistics Canada and I did a little bit of research, again, being naive, and it says that in Canada, the infant mortality rate is approximately 3.74 deaths per 100 live births. That's shocking. I had no idea that that was the statistic in Canada, and I feel that after hearing that Nanaimo was quite lucky to have you. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, we are the only center in the central area, the Central Island area, and we do provide support for people who have had infant or pregnancy loss. We do provide a peer support model with our staff and volunteers who are trained through our parent organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, another statistic, it says in Canada that approximately 61% of all women have experienced at least one unplanned pregnancy. And between 2015 and 2019, there were about 265,000 unplanned pregnancies annually.
Yeah.
Shocking.
It is, yeah. And we just find that people come to us feeling rather desperate in crisis, and they just need someone to walk alongside them as they navigate that. It's pregnancy, whether it's planned or not, can be the most life-changing just moment in your life. And it's scary for a lot of people, and so we're just there to facilitate. Yeah,
that's wonderful. I guess we're lucky to have you. Okay, I love this quote. "We think people are awesome. We believe deserve hope." Let's talk about hope. How important hope is.
Yeah, hope is so important, and we do find that people can feel very hopeless when they don't know what to do or they feel uninformed. If they don't have education in the specifics of pregnancy loss, abortion, that they can feel very hopeless in their situations. And with the support that we offer, we hope that we can just extend that hope to our clients.
Excellent. But I think we should be clear, you operate under a permission-based model. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so we permission-based model just means that in our conversations with clients, we're not going to get into topics or details that they're not comfortable with. So with each new step, each new conversation, we make sure that they're comfortable, that they're consenting to what we're going to talk about, because pregnancy and pregnancy loss and abortion are all very sensitive topics. And we want to respect the boundaries of our clients as well, with giving them as much or as little information and support as they're looking for. We want all of our interactions to be client-led.
Great. All right, let's talk about some of what CPC provides. Now, I would urge the audience to go to the website. If you are in a situation of feeling that these services might be relevant to you, please go to their website. It's cpcnanaimo.com. Lots of information there. It's a great website, easy to navigate. Again, let's talk about some of about what you provide. So pregnancy tests and safe confidential environment. What is that?
So for somebody who's unsure if they're pregnant, we do provide the opportunity to come in and have a pregnancy test in our center. They're free. All of our services are free and confidential, and it just helps sometimes to have somebody around when you find out the results of your pregnancy test and to not do it alone.
And again, this is by appointment.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to clarify to the audience too, this is not a medical clinic.
That's correct.
Right? So people that are seeking medical advice or medical attention or immediate attention, this is not the place to go.
That's correct. And we do always encourage all of our clients to be under the care of a doctor, which is difficult and complicated in this time where having a doctor isn't always available, but we're always helping our clients to find the medical care they need as well.
So navigate for them.
Exactly.
Excellent. Okay, prenatal education.
Yeah, so what we're looking to do in the new year is prenatal workshops so that expectant parents have the opportunity to learn what to expect in the labor process. We would love to be able to empower them to know what's within their rights in that labor process and how to speak up for what you need and want, because it can be very overwhelming. And we'll just give people the opportunity to ask questions and learn about breastfeeding and all the things that come along with labor and delivery in those early days of having a newborn.
Right, the stress of having a newborn.
Yes, exactly.
So you're saying, is this like a group or will this be one-on-one?
It would be a group, and what we find in our community is that there isn't a lot, if any, low barrier prenatal education. There's private prenatal education, and it comes with a big cost. And so having more free opportunities for parents to access this sort of service is really important in our view.
Well, of course, because we live in a society, every postal code has a different demographic, it has a different financial situation. Not everyone can afford to go or find a doctor, like you said.
Yeah.
So you're offering a great service for people who might need immediate support. Yeah. Well, the other thing that's really great is that this little building that you're in is quite cute. You've got this up the stairs, we went up it's like an old house, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got this area up there where you can have support groups.
Yes.
So you were talking to me earlier about other support groups you might be having in the fall. What does that look like?
So starting in November, we are going to be facilitating post-abortion support groups. So people who are affected by abortion or need some additional support in working through any of the complex emotions that you might have following the abortion procedure, that we'll go through a multi-week program together as a group with other people who have had similar experiences. But we also offer that one-on-one for anyone who finds that more comfortable for them.
So abortion is a touchy subject for people. It could be a political situation or a religious situation. You are a faith-based organization. It's amazing that you embrace this. People don't always people have abortions for different reasons.
Yes.
So I guess my question is I guess it's important for you to navigate that and sort of treat everybody in an individual situation and how you can support that situation for them. Because it's still loss.
Absolutely. And not everybody is prepared for the potential grief response that they may have. And we find in the medical system, there's a lot of situations where the doctor's hands are tied in the amount of time they can spend with their patients, which means they can't necessarily go through all of the details of the pregnancy options or what to expect in an abortion. So we do give our clients essentially unlimited time to come and go through that and talk about it if they want to, and to just help them to feel more comfortable and explore any of their pregnancy options that they are wanting to.
For sure, and I think people have to understand there's a plethora of reasons why an abortion might be necessary. You know, some people think of it as a choice, they get very political about it, but there's health reasons, there's economic reasons, there's age reasons, there's lots of demographics around why people make this choice or have to have an abortion.
Yes, and we are very firm on not being political about that. We would consider ourselves a pro-grace standpoint, because being on either side of that political spectrum would mean we can't support all people. So what the decisions people make for their own pregnancies is they're not accountable to us. We're just there to help them with the emotional or whatever really they need from us.
Well, that's actually a true Christian value. That's like opening your hearts and your doors to all people in our community.
Yeah, we think so.
Yeah, tremendous. I think that's great.
Thank you.
So let's talk about adoption. That's exciting, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you facilitate moving forward with that?
So we would help connect clients that are interested in adoption with the adoption agencies. Sometimes they prefer to have us facilitate those meetings in our center if they feel more comfortable there. But we also would support a pregnancy that is intended to complete with adoption, with that emotional support, helping them prepare for what that's going to look like, and with the coping skills for after the adoption process, and just helping with things like maternity clothing and things that a woman might need during that pregnancy.
So what are the statistics with adoption? It's not easy to adopt a child. What does that look like?
Well, in our experience, it's just continually going down in people's openness to even explore adoption. I don't know why that is. But we do find what some of our clients have told us is that it is a way that they've been able to have a relationship with their child without parenting them. The option of open adoption, where they can have be able to watch that child grow up and have some contact, depending on what's agreed upon between the adoptive parents and the biological parents, and it is a great opportunity for someone who is not in a position where they can parent to still have some sort of place in the life of that child.
But on the flip side of that, there's still the grief and loss again, right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
if someone chooses to adopt that's not an open relationship, they are losing that child.
Yeah.
So you provide peer counseling for that as well?
We do, yeah.
Okay. I think it's important to say that you do provide peer counseling, but you will refer to clinical counseling when applicable.
Yeah.
So how do you make that decision? How does that transfer over? At what point do you say, you know what, we're not the right fit here? What should we do now?
Well, it's an ongoing conversation between us and the client, and it's something that we often offer quite early in that relationship, that it is an option, that if they feel like the client themselves needs additional support in that clinical counseling setting, that we do have a community partnership with Island Clinical Counseling, where they offer a pay-what-you-can model, which is amazing for our clients who might not have extended health coverage. So we do, and it does, with a lot of experience and the training that we provide for our staff and volunteers, we do train them on when to identify that need for more in-depth counseling, more professional.
Okay. Now there's a category here as well. It's called practical support. What does that mean?
We provide resources, physical resources, for families from pregnancy up until their child turns 2. And that would be things like diapers, wipes, clothing for their children, equipment when available, like car seats. And we used to be able to give out used car seats, but insurance doesn't allow us to do that anymore. So resources like that are very limited. But we try our best to facilitate that for people who really need it.
Yeah, so again, I loved going to the center, and you've got these gigantic cupboards that are filled with all sorts of stuff that people might need in various stages of pregnancy or childcare.
Yeah.
So what do you got there? What's happening?
Well, the clothing that we have is for newborn up until 2, essentially. We also have a community partnership with Loaves and Fishes, so we have a food pantry. We have things like blankets and socks and just all the things that you might need for your family. There's toys, there's books. It's all dependent on donations, essentially. So most of these things we have in stock at any given time, but we never know what's coming next and what will be donated in the future.
I would like to make a shout out to Loaves and Fishes. I cannot tell you how many times I've sat in this chair interviewing nonprofit and charities that have connection and have resources through Loaves and Fishes. I think it's the most incredible organization, and the fact that they're able to do such outreach all across the Central Island to so many charities is so commendable.
I agree, and it's been a huge help for our clients to just sort of bridge the gaps between meals for families. So yeah.
Well, and I would imagine too that through your resources, because they do a lot of food banks in the churches, that you're able to navigate some of your clientele to go to those churches as well.
Definitely, yes.
Well, that's tremendous. I love communities helping communities.
Yes,
it's great.
very much.
Yeah. Okay, so baby and maternity clothing, we just covered that. So who's giving you this clothing?
Just members of the community. So we gladly accept used clothing from anybody in the community who has it. It can be dropped off during our business hours, but also we have some after-hour bins where people can drop things off. Things like diapers and wipes. Sometimes that's from donations, people bringing them to us. Often we have to purchase those things, which can be a bit of a strain on the organization, but it's something we're committed to helping our clients with.
Well, if you're watching the show, donate your kids' clothing. You know, especially in this world of fast fashion where it's terrible for the environment and buying things. And I mean, kids grow so fast, right? You're buying a size 4 and 2 weeks later they're a size 6. So I'm encouraging the audience again, like, help you guys out. Donate your clothing, rotate, and you might even get something when you're there for someone else, right? Yeah. Okay. Another category I wanted to talk about was sexual health. So what does that mean? How are you helping people with that?
Well, in general, this is an area that we don't do too much on unless a client is looking for that information. So we find most of the time we're referring people to the clinics for that.
I see. So, so navigating forward.
Yeah, and the information on sexual health and birth control and such is constantly changing and updating. And we want our clients to have the most accurate medical information in that area. So we are referring them back to public health or to the clinics or their own doctor for that information.
So in this climate, the way the world is moving and the increase of mental health, increase of addiction, combined with homelessness and with poverty, you must have a certain demographic of people that you are having to care for that fall underneath that parameter. How do you navigate that?
It's very difficult. One of the most difficult things is trying to help women with children find housing. There are shelters in town, but there is really no opportunity for a mom to have emergency housing urgently with her children. Those resources exist, but they're very few and far between and difficult to connect our clients to. So we find that we don't have a solution for that. We're struggling with that area and how to support families in that way.
I mean, being homeless is difficult. Being homeless and having addiction is difficult. Being homeless, addicted, and having a child and having to try to find a place to put your head at night is very difficult.
Yes.
I know you've probably partnered, so we're going to talk about some of the partnerships, but like Haven's House, for an example, who you would navigate those people to go there. Yes? Right. So that's encouraging, but I understand that due to lack of finance and a lack of availability, you probably have an overflow that is not adequate to where you can send people.
That's right, yeah. And organizations like Haven are incredible, and we really appreciate them. And we've facilitated even just phone calls for our clients to reach out to them when they're in a domestic abuse situation. And they take incredible care of the clients, which is great. But that, for longer term, or for somebody who might not be in an abuse situation, but just in unstable housing situation, we're struggling on how to support our clients in that area.
Oh, I'm sad to hear that.
Yeah.
The need is greater than the availability.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that we can try to get you some resources and maybe we'll change that a bit.
Yes.
All right, so I know that you must have to deal with grief and loss a lot.
Yeah.
So do you have group classes or meetings together, or is it one-on-one, and how do you manage that?
So we do primarily one-on-one support. When it comes to infant loss or pregnancy loss, in the early stages, that one-on-one private support is definitely where our clients tend to feel most comfortable. But as we move forward, we implement those programs and put them on pause as the need arises with our current client base. So it's something that's ever evolving based on what the needs are right now.
Okay. So while we're on the topic of that and talk about cross promotion, so I just want to shout out to a little bit here. So you definitely, Loaves and Fishes are helping you.
Yes.
You're connected to Island Health. How are you connected to Island Health?
So the public health nurses definitely rely on Crossroads as a resource for their pregnant clients. And the nurses will facilitate those appointments. They'll bring the clients to us and help with those appointments, supporting the client through that. Yeah.
Any other organizations you want to do a shout out to that are instrumental to your success?
One area that we would love to have maybe more of a connection is with the family physicians and the local maternity doctors. We could really come alongside and provide that supplementary support where the system sort of doesn't give them the space necessarily to do that. So yeah, being able to work closer with the physicians would be incredible, I think, for our community. But yeah, we're just really grateful for the members of the community who they support us through helping with public awareness and volunteering at our events. And
Great. Well, I want to talk about that. So, this is a half an hour show, so we have about 5 minutes left. And I wanted to really touch on how the community could support Crossroads Pregnancy Society. So I'm going to list off a few things here. Now, you have Operation Baby Bottle. So a couple seconds, what is that about?
That's our spring fundraiser from Mother's Day to Father's Day, where we essentially are putting a call out for support, financial support, where members can sign up to be a Lifeline donor, which is like a monthly contributor, or make a one-time donation to help support us.
Great. You can also go on the website, again, that's cpcnanaimo.com. You can click the donate tab and you can give money directly with credit card. Do you provide tax receipts?
We do, yeah.
You do, yes, excellent. You can also e-transfer, which can be sent to donate@cpcnanaimo.com. Or you can mail in a check if you'd like, or you can drop by. Again, phone first, because you're busy and you need to make an appointment. And you can contact them or go to the website. Easy website to navigate. Again, very encouraging. Now, you have a non-urgent call number, which is 250-716-1633. These are going to play underneath when we're speaking. And you're located at 1717 Kerrisdale Road, Nanaimo, BC. Again, please call first to make an appointment or to talk to someone in regards to what you need help with. But there's an after-hours hotline, and that's going to be underneath here. Again, 1-800-712-4357. What is the hotline for? How could people access that, and what do they need that for?
So if we're not open, you can access the hotline to have somebody talk to you about your pregnancy options if you're feeling like it's an urgent situation. If you're having a crisis that you need somebody to work through with you, they'll always refer you back to the center for in-person support afterwards, but they're there for you at any time of day.
Mm-hmm. But let's be clear, if it's a 911, you're in a situation where you're in danger, phone the police, right? Or if you feel like your health is failing, go to the hospital.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I would like to say that this Crossroads Center is amazing. The resources that you're providing for our community are not only necessary, but they're compassionate, they're safe, and they are very, very needed, okay? So if you feel that perhaps someone that you know needs support with an unplanned pregnancy or affected by abortion or pregnancy infant loss, please reach out to them. Everybody is welcome. They are there for you. They're compassionate, and they're an amazing organization. If you feel you've got something to donate, like infant clothing, you want to donate some money, you want to donate a stroller, a car seat, something to help another person in the situation out, I urge you to do so. Kimberly, thank you so much for joining me today. I always ask everybody at the end, is there anything you'd like to share with the audience before we close?
Thank you, Steen. I just appreciate the opportunity to be here today and share what we do. And I hope to just gain some more connections in our community going forward.
And more support.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so let's support them, everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for tuning into Upfront. I will look forward to seeing you next time.